Welcome everyone to the first online class in Business 241L, and it was great to see you all in class on Tuesday night. And I know there were some questions that we didn't get answered, and there'll be questions again next Tuesday night regarding the case study creation, and that's fine. And hopefully this video will clear up some questions that we have in regards to Project 1. And we'll take a look at Project 1 right now. It's down here in the in this week's block of 11th of May to the 17th of May. And when we click on the individual Project 1 requirements, this link here, we'll see that Secure IT, small computer security contractor, provides computer security analysis, design, and software implementation for commercial clients. Almost all of Secure IT work requires access to classified material or confidential company documents. Consequently, all the security personnel have clearances of either secret or top secret. Some have even higher clearances for work that involves the so-called black box security work. While most of the personnel information for Secure IT resides in database systems, a basic employee worksheet is maintained for quick calculations and ad hoc report generation. Because Secure IT is a small company, it can take advantage of Excel's excellent list management facilities to satisfy many of its personnel information management needs. You have been provided with a sample worksheet called T3 Employee Data to assist Secure IT with producing several worksheets summaries. Here is what is needed. So these 6 things are basically what they're looking for. So it's a list of their employees, and it'll have things like employee name and the department they work for and their title and all of that stuff. And so we're asked to sort it, we're asked to do a custom sort, we're asked to do filtering, subtotals, and the final thing that we're asked for is a pivot table that shows the average salary by department, by job title, by male and female. So this is the kind of stuff that you would be expected to do as a knowledge worker, as basically somebody who's graduated from a business administration degree program. And the first thing you're going to see and work with is spreadsheets, and we use spreadsheets to work with numbers, but we also use spreadsheets to work with data. In this exercise here, it's more about working with data than it is working with numbers. And it's a good introduction to spreadsheets, because you're not entering a lot of formulas and different things like that. You're basically just clicking on some of the commands, as we'll see in a minute, to get your results that you want. So let's go back then to the Excel worksheet that comes along with this project. So in this worksheet, we'll see that it's called, where is it now? Oops, back here, File for Project 1. So when you click on that, it'll open up in Excel, and it doesn't matter really what version of Excel you're using. The commands and the ribbons will just be a little bit different. You'll have to find your way around, or go into the help option. For example, if you're using Excel on a Mac, you might have to go into the help to find out where some of these commands are. If you're using a previous version of Excel, same thing applies. The stuff that we're doing is available in those older versions, but it might just be in a different place under a different menu, but you will find it if you go looking for it. So Let's see what this looks like now when it opens. Okay, so here's the spreadsheet here, and I'll just enable editing so that I can make changes to it. And we see the 6 things that we're asked to do are listed here. The value, they're all 15s except for the last one, which is a little bit more challenging, and it's valued at 25 for a total of 100 points in this assignment. You'll also notice that along the bottom I've put in tabs, and this is where I want you to put in the work that you do, so that when you do number one says a worksheet that is sorted by last name and hire date. And so this will be in this worksheet here called last name sort, and there's nothing in there right now because we're going to put something in there as an answer for number 1. And then when we do number 2, it says a worksheet that uses a custom sort. And so the custom sort is by department order. So this tab here is called department order. And you see that there's nothing in there, but we will have something in there when we answer the question. So where is all this data? Well, it's in this first worksheet here called employee data. So you click on this and you'll see that there is, a few rows, 100 and close to 120 rows. It's not quite 120 if we take off the first 2 rows here. One's a blank row and the other one's used for titles, so there's about 118 records in this database. I call it a database. It's a database in spreadsheet format. So we are kind of treating it as a database. One of the things you'll notice by cruising up and down this spreadsheet is that it is a list, and a list is anything that doesn't have any blank rows in it, and all of the columns are side by side, so there's no blank columns, there's no blank rows, there's nothing above it up here, and there's nothing beside it over here. So we've got a good list that we can work with, and every column has a different name. That's also a requirement. So you couldn't have 2 columns called the same name. So every column has a different name. So we've got what's called a good list to at least start working from. So we're going to kind of protect this data, and we're going to copy it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my mouse over and down and highlight all of this data that we see here, and then I'm going to go up to copy. So we go up here to the clipboard tools that we see here, and I'll click on copy, and then I'll go over to last name sort, and I'll go right up here to A1, and I'll click on paste. So there's our data. So what I've basically just done is I made a copy of the data that we had back on the first sheet. Now the reason why I did this was so that we could protect the original data, because we'll be going back 6 times to get a fresh copy of the data, because every time we do something we want to leave it on that sheet and then move on to the next sheet as we go through. We'll be going through all of these tabs eventually. So in the back in the instructions, and I'll just go back and open up the instructions again so that we can see them. The first instruction says that they want one worksheet that is sorted by last name and hire date. So if we go into Excel, we can go to the data ribbon, and that's where the sort can be found. So when we click on sort, it tries to guess where our list is, and you can see, I'll just move this box out of the way, it was almost correct. It missed the first row, so I'm going to have to make that adjustment. So I'm going to cancel out of this box here, and I'm going to highlight my list before I issue the sort command, and that way the program knows where the list is instead of trying to guess where it is. So I highlighted everything, and this time I'll click on sort again, and this time it got it right. And the reason why it doesn't highlight the titles in the columns is because they are not going to be sorted. They're going to stay there, and everything underneath of them is going to be sorted. So we got to sort this by last name and then by hire date. So basically, if there's two people in this list with the name Goldstein, if their last name is Goldstein, that would be considered a tie, or they would be equal. So which one do you put first? Michael Goldstein or Leonard Goldstein? Well, the tiebreaker is not going to be on their first name, it's going to be on their hire date. So it'll be whichever one was hired first. And I believe that was the hire date. Let me just go back to the assignment. Yeah, last name and hire date, because we do have birth date in there as well. So the sort, and you see when you drop down this list, it says all of these are headings in our data. So last name, we're going to sort on values A to Z. Great. Now we want to add another level. So I just clicked on this add level button up here, and the next sort that we want to do is on hire date, and it's oldest to newest, and that's fine. So we just click OK, and you'll see that it sorts our list so that the first person in the list is Ahern, and there's two Aherns, and the hire date for the first one is February 16th, 1990, and the second one is November 5th, 2001. So it did the sort. It broke the tie based on the hire date, and you see that it's consistently doing that. The next one is also the same last name, but you can see the hire dates are different. So that's basically it for number one. Number one is complete. So let's go back and look at number two. Number two says a worksheet using a custom sort: marketing, human resources management, and engineering. Okay, so the first thing we want to do then is go back to our employee data, and we do want to get a copy of that. So I'll just click on the copy button again, and I'll go over to department order. This is the blank worksheet, and I'll go up here to A1, and I'll paste that in. So now we've got a new copy of the data, and we're all set to go. And so in this one, we're going to do a custom sort by department, but we don't want it A to Z or Z to A in alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical order. We're going to do marketing, human resources, management, and engineering. So let's see how we can do that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to change the way Excel sorts. Excel doesn't know anything except numerical order, reverse numerical order, alphabetic, reverse alphabetic, and so we have to tell it to sort a different way. So in order to do that, we go back to data, we click on sort, and again it made that same mistake where it tried to guess where the list was, so I will have to go back and do the same thing I did before. I'll just highlight our list all the way down and come back up and click on sort again. This time it's all okay, and I'm going to click on department, and you see over here it's going to sort on values, but it only knows how to do A to Z or Z to A, so that's no good. So what I have to do is I have to click here where it says custom list, and I have to put my list entries in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in as it was asked for in the question. So the first people that I want to show up are marketing, and then I want human resources, and I have to make sure I